Ever ponder over what makes your car move? What magical force propels that hunk of metal forward? Now that's a question that's puzzled many a mind. The answer lies in the heart of your vehicle, the engine. This mechanical marvel is the epicenter of your car's operation, transforming fuel into motion and making your road trips possible. Now what's inside this powerhouse? Well, let's introduce the main characters in this tale. The cylinders, spark plugs, and pistons. The cylinders, they're like the engine's muscles, housing the power. The spark plugs, they're the fire starters, igniting the fuel-air mixture. And the pistons, they're the hard workers, moving up and down, pushing that crankshaft to set your wheels in motion. Each of these components plays a crucial role, and together they create a symphony of power that drives your vehicle forward. So, buckle in and prepare to delve deep into the fascinating world of car engines. The car engine, in essence, is an internal combustion engine. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's break it down. The term internal combustion might sound a bit intimidating, but it's actually quite simple when you get down to it. The internal part refers to the fact that the combustion, the burning, is happening inside the engine, and that's where the combustion part comes in. You see, a car engine runs on a mixture of fuel and air. This mix is sucked into the engine, and then a spark ignites it. That spark causes a small explosion, and it's this explosion that pushes a piston down. Now, this piston is a crucial part of the engine's intricate dance. Picture it like a plunger in a cylinder. When the fuel and air mixture explodes, it pushes the piston down, and when it does, it turns a crankshaft. This crankshaft is connected to the car's wheels, and as it turns, so do the wheels. The more explosions, or combustions, you have, the faster the crankshaft turns and the faster your car moves. So, essentially, your car is powered by a series of controlled, miniature explosions, happening over and over again. The engine is a symphony of precision, with each explosion timed to perfection to keep your car moving smoothly and efficiently. But it's not just about the explosions. The engine has to get rid of the waste gases produced by the combustion. This is done through the exhaust system, which safely channels these gases away from the engine and out of the car. And that's just the basics of how an internal combustion engine works. There are many more parts and processes involved, each playing its part in the finely tuned machine that is your car's engine. So, in a nutshell, it's all about controlled explosions. Now let's talk about the key players in this engine game. The pistons and cylinders. So what's the deal with these pistons and cylinders, you ask? Well, they're like the heart and lungs of your car's engine. Just as your heart and lungs work together to keep you alive, the pistons and cylinders work in tandem to keep your car moving. Picture this. The cylinder is a kind of long, hollow tube. Inside this tube, you've got the piston. Now this piston doesn't just sit there. Oh no, it's got a job to do. It moves up and down inside the cylinder. This movement is what we call a stroke. But what makes the piston move? Well, that's where the magic of internal combustion comes in. There's a spark from the spark plug, and fuel and air are ignited inside the cylinder. This creates a mini explosion, if you will, that forces the piston down. This movement is called the power stroke. Now, the piston isn't just moving willy-nilly. Nope, it's connected to something called a crankshaft. When the piston moves down, it turns the crankshaft, and this crankshaft, it's connected to your car's wheels. So, in essence, those pistons moving up and down are ultimately what's making your wheels turn and your car move. But it's not a one-way street. After the power stroke, the piston moves back up the cylinder, pushing out the exhaust gases. This movement is called the exhaust stroke. Then the cycle starts all over again. So next time you're cruising down the highway, spare a thought for those hard-working pistons and cylinders. They're tucked away under the hood, out of sight, but they're working tirelessly, stroke after stroke, to get you where you need to go. Pistons and cylinders, folks, the unsung heroes of your daily commute. But what triggers these powerful little explosions? Enter the spark plugs. Just like a conductor leading an orchestra, the spark plug in your car engine plays a crucial role in orchestrating the symphony of combustion. These small yet mighty components have the vital job of igniting the fuel-air mixture, setting off the explosive force that drives the pistons. You see, the spark plug sits at the top of the cylinder. When the piston compresses the fuel-air mix, the spark plug jumps into action. It sends out a jolt of electricity, creating a spark across a tiny gap. This spark lights up the compressed mixture, causing it to explode. The explosion pushes the piston down, which turns the crankshaft and ultimately moves your car. Now you might be thinking, well, that sounds simple enough. But here's where it gets a bit more complex. The timing of these sparks is absolutely crucial for the engine's proper operation. If the spark comes too early or too late, the engine won't run smoothly. In fact, it can cause serious damage. It's kind of like trying to catch a ball. If you reach out too early or too late, you'll miss it. But if your timing is just right, you'll catch the ball smoothly and effortlessly. The same principle applies to the spark plug. It has to spark at exactly the right moment for the engine to function correctly. This is where the engine control unit, or ECU, comes into play. The ECU is the brain of your car's engine. It monitors a whole host of parameters, including engine speed, air and fuel mixture, and engine temperature. Based on these parameters, the ECU determines the precise moment when the spark plug should fire. This timing is constantly adjusted as you drive, ensuring your engine runs as efficiently as possible. So, the next time you're cruising down the highway, spare a thought for the humble spark plug. It might be small, but its role in your car's operation is anything but insignificant. So, remember, every time your car moves, it's because a spark plug did its job right. An engine is like a symphony orchestra, with each part playing its role in perfect timing and coordination. Imagine the engine as a grand concert hall, filled with a multitude of players, each with a specific role that contributes to the overall performance. The pistons, valves, and spark plugs are the musicians, and the camshaft is the conductor. Let's delve deeper. The camshaft is the master of ceremonies in this high-speed performance. It's a long cylindrical rod located within the engine that has multiple lobes, or cams, along its length. Each cam is precisely shaped and timed to control the opening and closing of the engine's valves, which in turn control the flow of fuel and exhaust in and out of the cylinders. This is a critical role because if the valves open or close at the wrong time, the whole performance can come to a screeching halt. Now imagine the pistons as the percussion section. As the camshaft spins, it pushes and pulls on the pistons, causing them to move up and down in the cylinders. This movement compresses the air-fuel mixture in the cylinder, preparing it for combustion. The spark plugs, the brass section if you will, ignite this compressed mixture at the exact right moment, creating a mini explosion that drives the piston down and turns the crankshaft, which ultimately powers the car. The beauty of this intricate system is that it all happens in a fraction of a second, over and over again, thousands of times per minute. The camshaft, pistons, and spark plugs must all work together in perfect harmony, each performing its role at exactly the right time. It's a ballet of mechanical precision, a testament to human ingenuity. But remember, just like any orchestra, the engine requires regular tuning to ensure that all its parts are working together flawlessly. Regular maintenance checks and oil changes are key to keeping your engine performing at its best. Just like a perfectly conducted symphony, your engine relies on the flawless timing of its many parts. So, what have we learned about the magic under your car's hood? We've journeyed through the labyrinth of mechanical marvels that make up your car's engine. We started with the heart of the matter, the principle of internal combustion. This process is where the fuel-air mix explodes, creating a force that propels your vehicle down the road. We then explored the roles of pistons and cylinders, the diligent workers within your engine. These components harness the power of the internal combustion, converting it into a motion that turns your wheels. We also touched upon the crucial role of spark plugs. These little devices ignite the fuel-air mixture at just the right moment, triggering the internal combustion process. We examined the importance of timing and coordination, the unseen conductor that orchestrates this mechanical symphony. It ensures everything happens in harmony, from the intake of the fuel-air mix to the expulsion of exhaust gases. Next time you rev up your engine, spare a thought for the incredible science that makes it all possible.